Potato is tomato.
Hello, today is January 5th, 2022.
Today's topic is Spider-Man No Way Home. For the first thing we are going to be talking about is why is Spider-Man still in the movies and hasn't moved to any other platforms yet?
Well, like all movies, I know Spider-Man Far From Home wasn't on Netflix or Disney until a year or two after it released.
Yeah.
Because they kind of want to squeeze the rest of it out to all the people going to the movies.
Yeah, because when it goes on Netflix, they don't make as much money as when they make it on something else. But one of the main reasons it doesn't go to Disney and some of those other platforms is because Sony, a lot of people know this, but Sony holds the rights to Spider-Man, and they don't always allow the Spider-Man movies to be put on to Disney or anything like that. So it affects it affects some of their sales sometimes, and I feel like because of COVID right now, a lot of people aren't going to the movie theaters, and I think they could make more money if they were to put it on Disney for like $25, but they can't because of Sony holding the rights to it.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. Yeah, it is strange why they're gonna keep it in the movies even when the pandemic's growing bigger. I'm saying they might switch over to viewing platforms to if the pandemic gets any bigger, because then people won't be going to the cinemas to watch a movie.
Yeah, because we've gone into lockdown, there's not a lot of people that are going, and when they are, it's like there's massive risk of spread of COVID, and like I saw that it was coming to Apple. So if anyone wants to watch it, I saw that you could pre-order it on Apple TV. So, and I think that's the only program that I've seen so far. There's probably more that I could find out later, but I feel like they might be losing sales because of COVID restricting people from going to the movie theaters. And then since it's not on anything yet, no one's really watching it.
Yeah, I mean it is their call. If they want to move it to Sony, if they want to move it to Apple or Disney, and yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I haven't seen it yet. I don't think you've seen it. And
No, I haven't.
I've heard really good things about it, and I really want to see this. But there's literally nothing I can do to watch it right now. It's not on any platforms. It's still in the movies, and I'm not allowed to go to the movies. And I feel like I have here that I think they invested $200 million into it, and I think they've made a lot here. I think they've made over like $1.3 billion already, but I feel like it could be doubled, maybe even tripled if we didn't have this COVID or if it was on more streaming platforms where you could pay for it.
Oh, 100%. But then again, if they do want to transfer it to Disney or anything, I know most Disney shows, you pay for Disney, the subscription, so you can watch all those programs and television shows. So I just don't feel like a Spider-Man movie that's a part of Marvel, that's a part of Disney,
but
should cost over $25.
Sony owns most of it, and like they did with Black Widow, I remember because they put it on for like $25 because no, you can't access it in the movie theaters because of COVID. I remember when they put it out, so they put it up for $25, and it went on for like 2 months of it just on for $25 until it released for free. But it's not only the $25 because they take the money from the subscription because every time a person watches a certain movie and they have a subscription to like Disney, um, they take a portion of that money that they give it to the people who've made the money, and like they've made all the movies and all that, and then you've also got the $20. So you're making the money, and that's how they like Squid Games. That's how they make that much money. I don't think it didn't go into movie theaters, and it made, I think, what was it, a couple $1 billion, and it was just in Netflix because of people who have Netflix subscriptions.
Um, the only thing is, we don't know what it'll be when they do release it to other streaming platforms. We don't know if it'll be released to Netflix or Disney, because I know we've seen with previous movies of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, 1 and 2, that's on Netflix, including the 1 to 3 with Tobey Maguire. And they just recently added Far From Home with Tom Holland onto
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but Netflix is one of those streaming places where where it's like those movies don't come out right after, like you have to wait a while after.
Yeah, yeah, especially with TV shows and stuff. Um, some TV shows can be out for a year and a half, and Netflix still hasn't added it to their accounts. But if it's really Sony's choice in this decision.
Yeah, like I heard from what people say, the critics and people say that they say that Andrew Garfield's his best one was the first one. Tobey Maguire's first one was what best one was the second one, and they say that Tom Holland's best one was the third one. So like I'm really excited to see it. I it's not going to be on any of these platforms until very later because of like Sony interfering in that. So it's going to be very hard to find some of these movies. And I think the reason they do come to Netflix eventually is because Netflix isn't one of those things where it immediately comes out. Like it comes out like a while after it's been out of the theaters for a while. So you go to Netflix later, and I think by that time it's kind of died down, and I think that's why Sony is like a bit less on top of them to keep it undercover.
Yeah, but we know Andrew Garfield's like you said, Andrew Garfield's best movie was his second one, and that's on Netflix. So will they want to keep the 3 best Spider-Man movies on Netflix, and add Far From No Way Home on to Netflix?
I feel personally that it will come to Netflix eventually, but I like we're talking like half a year, like 6 months later when it'll come out.
Yeah, uh, I have I think it's coming out on Netflix, and not Disney Plus, because more people do have Netflix. Like if I went up to a stranger and asked, "Hey, do you have Disney Plus?" The reply would probably be no.
Yeah,
Most
like
people have
you make
Netflix.
more money from Netflix if you have your like show or movie on there. I think you make more
Yeah.
money from there compared to Disney.
Yeah, like we saw Squid Game. Like you said, it made billions because it was on Netflix, and we don't know what would happen if it was on Disney, if it would get if they would make less or more money.
Yeah, like I agree with you because this one's made like tons of money, but that's from movie theaters. Squid Games, they never were in theaters and they've made like around the same amount. So, like I feel like if Sony were to maybe think about it, and maybe I don't know all the facts, but if Sony were to think about it, I feel like the right decision would be put it on Disney, put it on Netflix. You're gonna make a buttload of money, and let's be honest, Sony probably owns a bunch of percentage to to like Spider-Man, so they probably make most of the money. So like as I was saying, like I feel like putting open it to all the platforms because I think you're gonna make more money doing that, and maybe just like put your Sony logo, like slap it on to more places, because like it's not really advertised that Sony owns Spider-Man. Like you got to look it up. It's not really advertised on any of the movies, and so maybe you could use that to advertise some things. And I feel like I might not know all the facts. There might be a way better reason for this because I don't know all the things. But from my point of view, it feels like I don't know why they're holding back on it.
Well, I mean, it could go to Disney, but I think before it'll go to Disney, Disney will buy Sony because we've seen in the past that Disney has bought many famous rights to to shows. Like now Disney's with Marvel. They have The Simpsons. A lot of famous shows are now owned by Disney. So it's just a matter of time before Disney buys out Sony.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And like when that does happen, I think a lot of people will be happy because then we get these early releases for like all the Spider-Man movies, and I think that'd be super cool.
But then, like I said, if I would to walk up to somebody on the street and say, "Do you have Disney?" they'd probably say no. So that will be a factor on how many people get to watch the show. Will they spring the $20 for the subscription to Disney, or will they just not be able to watch quality shows?
Yeah, but it's part of making a movie. You can't just release a movie and then right after it gets out of theaters, you throw it onto Netflix immediately, because people just don't do that. It's kind of just what people normally do with their movies, and I think they're doing a pretty good job on it. Also, like not everyone knows what's going on yet with the whole lockdown, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do and all these things. So I think they're handling it pretty well because it is on Apple TV. I think it's coming. It's coming to Apple TV right after the movie theaters, so you can I think purchase it on there, and I most likely will. It's just like a lot of people really really want to see it, so they're going out to the movie theaters and they're endangering themselves by going out there, and that's why like I'm not going to be going. I'm going to have to wait until it comes out, which sucks, but it's keeping me physically and my like physical health, it's keeping it safe.
Okay, well, thank you all for listening today. Have a great day. And now to Bucket.
I'm going to say the same thing as you. Have a great day, everyone. Make sure to check out all our other podcasts, and goodbye. Potato is tomato.